Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and yet another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for round number 11 for the German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheim. But if you guys did miss the last race at the British Grand Prix for my home race at Silverstone, then do check out the episode, guys, by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. But today we are here at the Hockenheim, and as you can see on screen right now, we do have a chance of rain for qualifying, so that's going to make things very interesting indeed for the Saturday. And it might really throw things up in the air a little bit. Now in terms of the race, it's going to be dry conditions, which is good, so hopefully we can try and have a pretty straightforward Sunday race. But with that being said, as you can see, here is the R&D tree. No upgrades for this race weekend. However, we are going to go for a massive upgrade package come the end of this episode, guys, so do stay tuned for that, and we're going to try and get multiple upgrades onto the car going into the second half of the season. But we are very close against Renault and Haas and also Red Bull as well. It's literally a 4-car battle there, and we're so close right in the middle of that midfield section, and then you've got Ferrari and Sauber kind of leading out front. But with that being said, we are going to jump into qualifying here on Saturday, and overcast conditions and the chance of rain as we saw before, so that's going to make things very, very nervy, you could say, and also on edge. We're going to go straight out onto the circuit, and as usual, we're going to try and go for 3 runs in this session, depending on what the rain does. Whether we have to do maybe 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, or we might not get none in at all because the rain might come down and we might have to go straight to the inters. Who knows? So yeah, we're going to just basically find out what the conditions are like. So far, it's not raining, so literally what I did was the second the loading screen finished, I just got onto the monitor, loaded up the setup, and literally just hit the track straight away. Low fuel, the lowest possible fuel. It's not one of them ones where you kind of build up to your fastest lap, over 3 runs. We had to just basically go for it on our first run in case the rain does arrive. You've got to treat every run like it's your last. So we're going to go straight onto the track and see where the grip is, basically, hopefully try and push, and hopefully the car works, because based off of practice the car felt good, so I do feel confident we can get a good result. The back end is a little bit loose, a little bit happy, more than what I would like it to be, but I think we can still make it happen. So here we go, straight onto the track, and so far you can see it's not raining, so dry conditions for now. However, it literally took about a minute, and halfway through the outlap it started to rain. You can see here now towards the end of the outlap there's a couple of droplets of rain starting to fall down here, so we had to get up to speed and pretty much go max out towards the second half of the outlap to really make sure we didn't get caught out by the weather. And I think we're at the 4th or the 5th car out on track in terms of position, so we're relatively early here, so let's try and push on and do this full lap of the Hockenheim circuit, because this was my one no lap in the session due to the rain. So far, sector 1, pretty straightforward, nice and clean so far, no corrections, and it's all about really, I could have pushed a little bit more on this lap, but I wanted to keep it nice and clean and crucially make no mistakes. That was kind of like the main theme of the lap. So down to the hairpin now, at the 100-meter ball, down to second gear, and then later on down to first to really get that rotation on the apex. Good clean traction on the exit, as you can see there, nice and smooth, no wheel spin, as we now go through the fast right kink into the Mercedes-Benz grandstand, and you want to go down to 4th and then 3rd gear for this left to get the rotation. A little bit wide there onto the curb, a little bit understeer if you get in there because of the wet conditions, and then a little bit of a loose rear end there through the right as Sebastian Vettel sets the benchmark lap time, so to speak, as we now go into the right hander there through the stadium, just about keeping it within track limits, and now through the left hand banking through the Sachs curve, and now 3 more corners to go, and here we go, the final 2 now, the kind of a combination of double rights, and it's all about focusing on your exit to open up the line. Little sprue freeze there on the exit, but luckily it doesn't affect us, and we go P3 behind Vettel and crucially Charles Leclerc. So all things considered, a decent lap considering the conditions, and we do manage to pull it out of the bag, so decent stuff. I went back out though right at the very end of the session because the rain actually stopped, and I tried to go for one more run literally as the clock ticked down to the last seconds. Nobody else hit the track except for me. I tried to give it a go, but the track ultimately you could just kind of tell was just a little bit too wet still, and yeah, unfortunately we couldn't, I tried to be cheeky but it didn't really work out. So P4 for us. Ericsson actually managed to sneak in there in that kind of wet phase, but generally speaking, a second row start. Alonso right behind us in P6, so that's not too bad. A decent qualifying session, and I think we can definitely do things here from P4 to more in the race if all things go well. So hopefully we can have a little decent race tomorrow. Leclerc starts from pole, Vettel alongside in his home race, and then Ericsson third. We are fourth, Raikkonen P5, and Alonso P6. So pretty straightforward top 6. Hamilton there, getting a very good P7 for Mercedes. Fair play to him. They've been on a bit of a rotten run lately, and Bottas as well getting into the top 10 along with Brendan Hartley there. But all things considered, that is going to be it, guys, for qualifying, and we're now going to move into the race on Sunday for round 11 for the German Grand Prix and the start of the second half of the season. So let's jump into it and let's see how the race goes.
Good afternoon and welcome to a place that is very special to us all in the Formula One community. It's the Hockenheim Ring, home of the German Grand Prix. Always good for a close scrap is Hockenheim. Think back to Alonso, Ricciardo, Vettel as recently as 2014, and I'm expecting some more strong racing today. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ericsson, Martinez, Kimi Raikkonen and Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, Bottas and Brendan Hartley, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Romain Grosjean and Ocon, Sirotkin, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Kevin Magnussen. Gasly and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, here we are then for the race at the German Grand Prix. We start the race from 4th place on the grid. Decent qualifying. We do get the second row alongside Marcus Ericsson and behind our rivals of Vettel and Leclerc. And for this race, we are going to go for a bit of a different strategy. Now, the recommended one on screen is ultras, softs. That might be quite realistically what we might do strategy-wise. There is a possibility that we could go ultras straight onto the mediums and maybe go to the end, but that's going to be a little bit more tricky to pull off. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we can make it happen, and fingers crossed we can, maybe have a decent little race. But all things considered, I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's a good race for me, and I'm not really sure exactly how my pace is compared to the AI. I really don't, because of the kind of on and off qualifying. So it's going to be an interesting race. I think it's going to be quite intriguing to see how we perform. With that being said, instead of speculating, let's just jump into it here and let's see how the race goes. It's time for round 11 for the German Grand Prix. Let's get into it. Right, here we go. Let's build up the revs and get ready for the 5 red lights here at the Hockenheim. The lights are on and they are off, and away we go. Good start, really good start. Vettel gets a pole one in the Ferrari. Ericsson goes around his outside. Vettel and Ericsson almost collide. We just about avoid contact there and pick up the scraps. We're down the inside going towards turn number 2. Vettel tries to go long around the outside. We lock up a little bit on the right front, but we are going to get our nose in front and just get in front of Sebastian Vettel there. Leclerc, though, getting an absolute fly already in the Sauber. They're racing down towards the hairpin. Straight line speed wise, we're pretty okay, it seems. Vettel's going to get a run, and we'll have to go defensive just slightly to cover off the inside line into the hairpin. But good start, 2 places gained. The actual start to the 5 red lights was actually pretty good as well, so no complaints. Vettel and Ericsson currently battling side by side here as we make an adjustment to the brake bias, pushing it up to 56. A bit more front end brakes for this initial phase of the Grand Prix. Now it's all about trying to go nice and long and be consistent on these ultra soft tyres, which don't really last that long around here. And also I'm hoping we have some okay pace, and I want to try and keep up with Charles Leclerc if possible. That's going to be a real challenge around this track. I think this is one that does suit a Sauber quite strongly, especially in that back straight with all that horsepower. Either way, we're going to try our best. Lap one draws to a close, but let's get ahead, screw it on straight, get to work, and let's see if we can make something happen here today. Okay, Leclerc sets the pace, 13.1, we do have 0.2, so we're not too far behind. DRS now enabled here, but we've also got a nice gap to Ericsson behind, so things are looking good at the minute. It seems like we do have pace to hold on here and not fall into the clutches of the cars behind, who are now going to begin to have a bit of a slipstream battle and DRS battle. It's a good thing that we've got the 1 second gap, look, 2 second gap actually now to Ericsson, because if you get involved in that slipstream battle, it's going to be quite nasty. So this is a good chance for us to kind of settle down in this race and even just, solidify the second place and maybe try and work towards Leclerc and getting the race win based off of strategy. So we can start to maybe work out what we're going to do. If Leclerc does go aggressive, I might go for the mediums, try and go for the 1-stop and try and go for a bit of a contra strategy, because if we want to win this race, we need to roll the dice, in my opinion. So let's keep our head down. We've still got a long way to go on these tyres. I want to try and go nice and deep into the race on these, and then that kind of opens up the strategy a bit for us. Currently on lap 5, things are looking good. The battle behind is still going on, and we're able to keep up with Leclerc quite nicely here. So things are looking okay. Tyres are starting to feel very second hand as we run very deep into the hairpin there. So yeah, I'm just trying to manage things at the minute. It definitely feels like I've had some extra tyre weight added on from qualifying to race. I wonder if I made the same mistake and went out with the same set of tyres. I'll have to watch that back in the edit. But yeah, we're just holding on here, but these tyres are always starting to show signs of letting go here. Okay, this is our scheduled pit stop lap for softs. Let's see what Leclerc does. Ericsson came in on the last lap, so Let's see if Leclerc comes in. He stays out. So I'm going to pit in here. I'm going to go for the softs. I'm going to go for the contra strategy. Into the pit lane. There we go. Good entry. Getting also down. Raikkonen comes in as well. Alonso stays out. So all in all, a decent first stint. We had similar pace to Leclerc. There we go. 2.3. Good stop. Similar pace to Leclerc. Now we've got to try and get up to speed again and see if we can make some moves. Hopefully we can rejoin in front of this next bit of traffic. These next 3 or 4 cars that are coming up. Yes, we do. That's good. We've got Hulkenberg and Perez battling in front of us here. So let's try and get in on that battle. And also let's not get sucked into the battle behind. We're not going to have DRS, but I shouldn't be under too much pressure here. So that's good news. We've got a little bit of clean air for this outlap, so let's push on. Okay, we've now caught up to Perez and Hulkenberg. Leclerc's come in.
Fernando's in for his stop.
Obviously we've got Hulkenberg and Perez who are going long on this first stint on the soft compound tyres, so we're going to have to get the move done on track. Leclerc leaving the pit lane now, so he's obviously still going to maintain the race lead. Not enough from us to get an undercut, but we are going to get the run on Hulkenberg here. We're going to pull to the inside, box him in as Perez goes defensive slightly, and we're going to go down the inside, and then we can try and size up Perez for the move around the outside of Hulkenberg, and now we're going to get the momentum and try and get past the Force India here. We're going to pull to the inside. It's a shorter run, and that should get the move done. There we go. We are past Perez and Hulkenberg. Into the hairpin, make sure no one goes up the inside, and there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Very little time lost there, anything probably time gained actually, so a very clean double overtake. Up next, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Leclerc just has too much pace on these tyres. I can't really match that. The 12.5 is a little bit too much. So we're going to try and just focus on solidifying the second place for now, I think, and potentially getting past Max Verstappen, who we're starting to really close in on now. Because we've got no real other threats nearby, so I think we can try and secure this second place, to be honest. Also, let's try and get past the Red Bull. I don't think I can do it on this straight. I think I'm too far back to get past Verstappen here. Yeah, I am too far back, so we'll just try and build the momentum and try and get close to him. Here we go then. Through the final corner, we're going to get DRS on the main straight on Verstappen. Let's set him up for the run out of turn 1, which is where I tend to perform and have a lot of grip. There we go, carrying the speed to the inside. Pretty comprehensive and straightforward overtake. Down the inside of turn 2, go for the squeeze, job done, and we are through. Although having said that, I'm not going to have DRS of my own here, so we're going to have to probably defend from Verstappen. If he's going to come back at me here, we're going to have to go to the right hand side and defend this position into the hairpin. There we go, side by side, keep the inside line, power down, go for the squeeze. Again, we're going to stay in front, but Verstappen is going to stick with the slipstream there and stay within range. But we are going to get it done this time, and we're back up to 3rd place in this race. Only Grosjean remains now on the contra strategy in the Haas, so let's try and get past him now. No DRS on Grosjean on the pit straight, but we should have it hopefully come the back straight. Good run through turn 1 there. Nice momentum. Rich mix and hot lap ERS already engaged to really close up this gap. Now let's get a good exit out of here. Grosjean obviously has worn tyres, so he doesn't get the best traction. Fastest first sector. Now we're going to get the run here. Here we go. What do we like for straight line speed? Looks pretty good. We're gaining. We're going to pull to the inside. A little bit hot on the brakes, but that's okay. We'll just get it slowed down just about. Force Grosjean to have to wait on turning, and also Leclerc is an ultra softs. Interesting strategy there. Would he go for 1 more stop, or would he have to go for 2 more? I think he'll have to go for 2 more stops, unless it goes really long on the mediums. So Leclerc on a potential 3 stopper here. See, I didn't know that. That explains why he was so much faster than me. Wow, that's quite interesting then. Leclerc on the ultras again. He should be in pretty soon. Personal best, 13.0. Decent lap there from me. Although that was with slightly higher engine modes. Okay, Leclerc pits in, finally. We've been waiting for this. Will he go for mediums? It's a long way to go, but it's possible. We'll see very soon. We're going to keep on going with these tyres though for a little bit longer. Leclerc goes for softs. That's interesting. That's a long way to go. Very long way. So far Leclerc is catching, but no purple laps from Leclerc just yet. So he's not super quick, but he is catching me slowly and surely. I'm still not convinced he's going to get to the end of the race. I think he's got a long way to go on one set of tyres, because he's got to do 19 laps on those softs, which I'm struggling to do my 14 laps. So we'll see what happens here, but I don't think... I'd be shocked if he goes to the end, put it that way. I really would be. And if he does go to the end, he should have pretty poor tyres at the end. So let's see what happens here. But for now, we're still keeping a pretty okay gap, a respectable gap, I should say. Okay, I'm struggling on my tyres now quite a bit. Luckily, we are coming in, so we are going to get off these. Like I said, I'll be surprised if Leclerc manages to make these to the end, because if he does, he's got some pretty good tyre wear. I'm definitely struggling. Here we go, though, into the pit lane. This time not as bad as the last one, where it was quite slow. Getting it all slowed down. There we go. Right, let's get our last set of tyres on the car. Our final stop of a 2-stop race. Hopefully it's a nice quick stop once again from the boys. Let's see. There we go, 2.2. Absolutely spot on. That's a good stop. Up to speed then. Leaving the pit lane now. Clean air. P2 comfortably. Now pretty much we're going to try and set some good lap times. Leclerc was about 3.5 seconds behind me, so we've got a 3.5 second window to work with in terms of trying to stay within that window. And if Leclerc does come in, then he'll come out behind me basically. So we need to try and push and work in that space. Hopefully we've got pace on these and I can try and set a couple of purple laps. I think I've got it in me, but they need to be good laps, really good laps. Okay, purple final sector. Good stuff already. Also, I've noticed as well with the strategy, we've actually cleared the one-stoppers. You can see Grosjean's behind me and Ricciardo's behind him. They're all on medium, so we've cleared the one-stoppers, which is what I wanted. So basically have a clean track to myself. Purple sector 1 now. I think we can, hopefully we can push a little bit. I want to see if I've got what it takes to try and win this. Right, personal best, 12.7. I'm fastest through sectors 1 and 3. I lose a lot of time through sector 2, but right now we're looking good for pace. Tyres feel good. Let's keep this going. Another personal best, this time of 0.6. Gap to Leclerc inside 13 seconds. Oh, we've got yellow flag, and it's a Ferrari that's pulled over. One of the Ferraris are out, I think. We'll confirm it now. I still had nothing flash up on the screen, but one of the Ferraris is out. Not sure which one it is, whether it's Sebastian Vettel in his home race or Kimi Raikkonen. Let's have a look when we drive past. Couldn't catch that name tag, but I want to say Vettel, I want to say. We'll find out in a moment's time. No, Vettel's P3 it seems, so Raikkonen is out of the race for Ferrari. That's a big one for the constructors in terms of their battle versus Sauber. Oh, that was scary. Whew. That's going to cost me a little bit of time. Had flashbacks of Sebastian Vettel there in the 2018 German Grand Prix. Dipping the ball in the grass and running deep. Luckily though we survived. Sirotkin though, traffic-wise up next. Lost a little bit of time to Leclerc there. Gap up to 13 seconds. I'm trying to get past this Renault. Or should I say this Williams, sorry. Come on Sirotkin, move out of the way. Move, come on please. Oh man, the AI do not get out of the way well in this game, they really don't. More time lost there. We'll find out now within the next 2 laps if Leclerc does come in for a set of used ultras, or if he goes to the end. He's also coming up the traffic as well, so it's important to push on here and not give up on the chase just yet. Looks like Leclerc is going to the end on those tyres, so fair play. That's a long way on that one set of softs, but he's made it work. So it looks like P2 for us here today. Let's just try and bring it home now. 5 laps to go. Leclerc is absolutely on one at the minute. That's incredible pace, a 12.2 on such worn tyres. Fair play. He's just in another league at the minute. It's all him at the minute. We can't do much about it, unfortunately. Ali's not here. He's just too strong. So we're just going to have to accept that. And also, it goes to show we need a lot of upgrades, and there's a long way to go before we get anywhere near the superpower that is Sauber with Leclerc. Oh my God, Stroll. Come on, man. Get out the way, please. Man, AI are just so crap at getting out of the way. They really are. At least we've got double DRS, which is a bonus, but even still, I mean, not ideal. Right, Leclerc wins then at the Hockenheim as we make our way through the final 2 corners. I've picked up 2 track extensions in the last lap alone. Luckily I didn't have any more from the rest of the race, but through the final corner and a good performance nonetheless. Look at that, 15 seconds clear of Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, and we come home for second place in the German Grand Prix. Decent performance, decent recovery, and I've got no complaints over that whatsoever, and some good points scored.
A great win then for the Sauber team today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So, here they come out now, onto the podium after a thrilling Grand Prix. It just goes to show what a strong position the sport is in, that these independent teams can be so competitive. What a superb victory from the Sauber team.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Charles Leclerc wins at the Hockenheim. He dominates the German Grand Prix. We come home second, and to be fair, although 16 seconds behind Leclerc, we still finish a pretty convincing 18 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So we had a good race in our own right compared to Leclerc. And then we got Ericsson P4, Verstappen P5, Hulkenberg 6th, Alonso P7, fair play, good result for him there in the other McLaren. And then we've got Perez, Ricciardo and Magnussen running off the points. Grosjean misses out along with Ocon, Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas a lap down, Carlos Sainz, Brennan Hartley, Lance Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin. Raikkonen the only retirement of the Grand Prix, and what that will mean for the Drivers' Championship is that we jump up to second place, overtaking Raikkonen, who retired this race, and we are now the direct competitor to Charles Leclerc. He is 58 points ahead of us, and the second half of the season has just begun, so the pressure's on. Alonso also gets himself into the top half of the table there for P13, overtaking Bottas, and in terms of the constructors, we remain fourth, but we do close the gap slightly to Red Bull. Sauber extend their lead, 57 points clear of Ferrari and 152 points clear of us, McLaren. So yeah, pretty much that's going to be it, guys, for this race, and we're now going to move into the laptop and get a big raft of upgrades onto the car for the next coming races. So let's jump into it.
You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. Would you say that your rival is still on your level? It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? Great, well that's everything.
Right, so here we are then on the R&D screen. Now, I've already had a little look at the upgrades and I've made my mind up where we're going to go. So straight away, into the chassis, we are going to go and work on the weight redistribution. So we're going to purchase a minor one here for Hungary, which is going to be for the energy store cells positioning. And then we're going to get one for the fuel tank positioning, which is actually a major upgrade. That's going to be a little bit more expensive, as you can see. That's going to leave us with 900 points to spend elsewhere, which I'm going to spend, first of all, on the fouled aerodynamic upgrade, which we should have had for the last race. And to add to that, I'm probably going to go for another rear downforce, preferably, unless maybe we can't afford it. Let's have a look. I might go for this one here, this drag streamlined suspension arms. I might put that on there and get that on for the next race. And that should push us just above Red Bull and neck with Renault. So another 4 upgrades in the pipeline, as you can see here, over the next 2 races. So we should be good going into Belgium. I haven't done no engine upgrades. We will do those next. But the reason I haven't done any is because we don't really need to. We're already the 3rd best engine. Of course, it can always be better. And I want to get this one here, which is a major ERS one. I want to work on that next. I'll probably get that in the next episode. And that should arrive for Italy, hopefully. But we needed to catch up, especially in the chassis. We needed to make those upgrades. And I think overall the car is going to be a much stronger, complete package now going into the power circuits. But first of all, though, we have got to get past Hungary. So let's just take it one race at a time. And if you guys did enjoy this episode of Career Mode, then please do drop a like and also get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. Turn on notifications to not miss a single upload from me, and finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.